Hey, it's Carrie from Reseller Revenue. Today I'm going to talk about something I've been thinking about a lot, probably because of my age, is that how reselling kind of fills the gap for lots of us. And I think it's actually a positive thing. That's how I'm going to look at it anyway, is like how many people are in that midlife age. Like I think I'll be 46 in a couple months. And I feel like lots of life changes happen during that age period. Like some people are getting ready to retire out of corporate jobs and even up into our 60s. Empty nests are happening, the kids are growing up and leaving us. And I just feel like sometimes we need things besides collecting cats to fill those gaps. And I think reselling does that for a lot of us. A lot of us that had jobs that we were known for and in business backgrounds, that was our identity. We went to work. Some of us were the best we were at in our fields, and that's what people look to us for. And then, like when we decided to get out of that field or we were retiring, it's like, who are we? What do we do? So I was kind of one of those people, maybe not to retirement age, but my owner of the company that I loved working for retired, so it kind of left me in limbo. And that was part of the reason I ended up eventually in reselling. And I needed a new path, and lots of us have lots of forks in life that cause us to need new paths. And I feel like reselling was really great because I started off doing it with my son when he was younger, which was good for him too because he's learned how to sell watches. He loves selling and working on old watches. So that's kind of his thing now. So um, we're always looking for watch lots for him to mess with, old vintage watches. And he's 18 now, and he does that for a good portion of his income. So he learned a good life skill. So that was kind of an age gap thing for him too, just on the younger end. But he's my baby is 18 and he's been, my two kids have been my whole entire universe for a really long time, for like 25 years. So now instead of just being a crazy cat lady and my little dog, I'm now kind of feeling like a reseller is a new title for me and it's a new identity for me. And it also provides community. There's lots of us that like our kids' sports families were our identity, or the friends' moms at school was our community and who we talked to about life in general and who we talked to about things that were happening with us. And now maybe that's shifting because now kids are going off to college or the workforce, and it's like, well, what do we do now? So I feel like the fact that when we're having these shifts and we have to kind of shift into a new life pattern or new life focus, that now it's like, who are we and what roles do we fill? So reseller is definitely a role now that I filled, and I've started kind of realizing that it's almost an identity replacement for me because now I'm known as a jewelry seller. And it also is good because it keeps my brain active. Like I feel like I'm doing something useful. I have a purpose, and it kind of keeps me thinking all the time, which I think is good for us as we get a little bit older. And maybe if our careers aren't demanding it from us, maybe those skills and those challenges wouldn't be present for us anymore. It also gives me a different financial purpose. So jobs, have always created some financial well-being and security for me in a way I can contribute to our household financially. And now reselling does that for me. So it also can kind of fill in a creativity focus for us because some of us like to have hobbies, but hobbies get expensive. And sometimes if we're going to focus into retirement, maybe we don't have that capital anymore. But with reselling, you can kind of do photography and you're writing listings and maybe you're branding yourself and you're finding new treasures. And that kind of gives us an outlet for some of our creativity. It gives us a purpose of pride. I would always be really proud of myself when I'd have a good deal at work or when I got recognized at work. And then when that went away, I didn't have that like personal sense of pride. And I was always known as mom, which I still am a mom, but it's not relied on as much. So now that kind of shifted to that too. So our tribe of moms at the school or in the sports arena or wherever we were at, those were like people that got it. They got where we were at in life. They got what we were doing and going through. And then when we shifted out of that, it's like, well, who's my tribe now? And I found a new tribe, right? My tribe is of resellers that are in my group, in the Reseller Revenue Patreon group. Like, we are a tight-knit group of coworkers. That's what we are. We work together, and they get where I'm at in life right now. And it's important to find people that get where you're at in life right now. And so it's like a mentorship, but it's also definitely all about coworkers. Building systems that fit our season of life. This is really important. Don't copy what all the young people are doing, so to speak. Like, maybe we aren't in that young factor anymore, and we need to create what the hustle means to us now, which is a lot different than when we were maxing out our hustle. So I guess I just want to say, like, has it given us focus and priority outside of just the money? If we look at our future, does it help with a path and a purpose? And I guess it's just another way to kind of that I look at reselling lately when I really hadn't looked at it that way before, and just kind of wanted to bounce that off and see if I'm the only one. Put in the comments, like, am I the only one thinking of it like this? Am I the only one um that visualize that maybe this is another way we can dive into the reselling type era in our world? So, and I realize lots of young people are out there listening to, but you're going to get older someday and have the same type of identity and thought process as I do, I guarantee. And I'm realizing, like, wow, I've got a lot of natural sun on my face. Let's see what the last week has looked like for me in reselling. I'm pretty consistent with my listings and my quality of stuff and all that. So that doesn't change much, but sometimes what eBay gives me back does. So let's see what the last 7 days look like. Sorry, that was ready. So let's see. We got to look at the last, let's see what it is. So the 15th to the 21st would be the 7 days that was after the last report I did. So look, my sales are up 0.5%. You know what? I'll take it over a downfall any day. So my net sales are 3581 those 7 days, which is up 3.2%. So I see that as a win when my gross sales are only up 0.5%, but my net sales are up 3.2. That's a good thing for me. My quantity sold was down 190. Sell less items, make more money. That's a win too. So my average sale price per item is hovering about the same. And let's see how the breakdown is. You guys know that I like my repeat buyers. I want it to be about 25. So I'm failing big time on this one. It's at 5.6%. But you know what? This week's different. We're going to see if we can get that number back up, which is, it's fine. It's no big deal. At least that means there's new buyers out there. So there's no shortage of new buyers and we can all go after them. So the next thing I want to look at is 164 right here of my items sold via promotion. Promoted listings is really important in my business. I don't think I'd ever be able to sell what I do without playing that game. I don't like giving the extra percent, but it gets me sales. So I sold 64 via them sending me an offer, and I sold 54 with me sending them an offer. So, or them, yeah, me sending them an offer. So about equal this week. It doesn't always happen that way either. So let's see if it shows us. I can't remember the promoted listing tab here. So my organic sales, I had 13.6% of my sales were organic, not promoted. The higher that number, the better, but that's about right for me. So I'm fine with that. Let's look at my top 10 sales this week. See what we have here. I don't know what order. Let's start off with this Honora Fresh Pearl Black Pearl set. I got a whole bunch of these Honora Pearl sets. They sell pretty darn fast. This one sold on a 30% off sale. That's just fine. You know why? Because it sold. I had like $4 or $5 maybe into these sets. So no big deal. It's fine. Nothing fancy about that one. Sold for $79.79. This Nolan Miller brooch, I think it sold this. Yes, it sold the same day that I listed it. I took an offer, I want to say, of like 79. People get kind of panicky when I'm like, I took a good offer the very first day it was listed. I don't, because it sold, it's gone. I'm making my profit. I'm going to turn that profit into more money. So it was a very nice little square brooch. It was pretty unique. Like Nolan Miller. Nolan Miller does pretty good. This is not a jewelry item. I do sell dresser items and, accessories when I can find it at a good price. I think I ended up, I I bought 6 of these for 70 bucks, so probably about $10 into this one, and I sold it for 90.38. It sold on a 20% off sale, and it was in really nice condition too. I did not understand the mechanism of that. It took me a while to figure out how to like open it and close it, but I figured it out, and that was a decent one. And of course, I have a junk lot of 13 pounds. So this is how I take my elaborate, intricate, amazing junk box lot pictures. As you can see, I'm being sarcastic. I just throw it in the box and I take a few pictures. People are usually really happy with my junk lot boxes because a lot of this isn't broken. It's just stuff I didn't want to list. So I try to get it moving on down its way as soon as possible. Oh, wow, another box of junk for 132.99. So this was also 13 pounds. I priced my junk lots anywhere between $12 and $15 a pound. They usually sell for close to that, and then they also pay the $20 shipping. This is a medium flat rate box, and it's even got one of my inventory bags in it because I just chuck it in the box. So if you have things that are hanging around that you don't want to list, you're not getting around to listing, chuck it in the box. So I always have a vintage, I always have a junk box sitting around to just add to, so it's easy. When it gets full, I take pictures and I get it up there. This one was a non-signed necklace, and it definitely had that Cleopatra style to it. It was in excellent condition. It was a very nice necklace, but it really had nothing going for it besides its style and its condition. So I took $100 offer for it. It sold right away. Totally happy with that. This one, I'm not sure what I was thinking when I listed this price-wise at $128. I'm not sure. Maybe I did look it up and comp it, but it seems pretty high to me, even for me. But it sold for 102, so somebody must have been willing to go out on the limb there. And it was nice. Scarab bracelets usually sell pretty good for me, especially if they're real stone or they are glass. This, I love Denmark, Scandinavian, Norwegian, whatever kind of sterling silver these old ones are. I like them. I want to say I took a $90 offer, but I'm not 100% sure. It wasn't the full 105, but here's the mark on that one. And a micro mosaic bracelet. I do love the old micro mosaics, not the tourism ones, but the real authentic micro mosaics are really nice. The bracelets can do really well. I want to say this one sat here for a little while. I listed this one July 4th, so it did sit there just a little bit. It finally must have hit its price at about $100, $99.07. This one I think is my best sale of the week. I picked this up in an eBay lot. I saw it peeking out from the bottom. It was upside down, but I could see that it was a Western Germany set. I was just pleasantly surprised that it was such a nice Western Germany set when I got it. So sometimes I could see that filigree from the back. I think I paid like $25 for the whole lot. I took a 100 and I want to say $175 offer. So it was a pretty good week. Nothing like earth-shattering, exciting. I listed about the same. I'm still listing the 40 a day. I do 30 of those from my photos. 10 of those are from the photographer, which is working out fabulous. She does a really great job. We're still tweaking it. So if you see a real inconsistency in my pictures lately, it's because I'm still trying to figure out what works best. She has a phone that doesn't love to capture color correctly on white. So she's experimenting with different colors and doing a wonderful job. And of course, she's like one of my very best friends in the whole entire world. So it makes it easy to work in relationship and for trusting, because you got to be able to trust somebody having that much many dollars worth of jewelry in their possession, and I don't worry about it at all with her. So that helps a lot. The group's going really well. We're doing, the Monday through Thursday, uh, 9 a.m. Central Time. We meet for an hour for my morning call. Thursday mornings, we also have an hour earlier where we do like a workers water cooler time where we just kind of sit and talk about whatever and have coworker time. And then on Tuesdays, we have the jewelry call at 10, which is right after the morning call. And me and Lynn from Finds of Yesterday, check her out on YouTube. We talk about jewelry. We uh, bring what we sold. We talk about how to source. We talk about what we sourced. And of course, throughout the week, we talk jewelry too, because that's what I do. And that's what I love to teach and talk about. So it's been a normal, busy, grinded out week. My Monday through Thursday is pretty pretty rough. I also have a part-time finance job that I do with totally flexible hours that I keep on the side. And then once in a while we have farm stuff, but I really only help a lot anymore when it's lambing time and there's a problem. So the guys pretty much are taking care of that the rest of the time. So hopefully, I'm going to be taking off a week in October for our annual, me and my husband's annual vacation time. So I will just be putting my store on away mode, and I really recommend that you do the same. If you have a vacation, put it on away mode. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. When you come back, about 3 days after you start listing normally, your sales will bounce right back. So just, go check out, go have some mental distress time and just enjoy your time off and don't worry about it. I could have my son Rowdy could ship. He's very good at it. He knows exactly what he's doing, but I don't even want to have to worry about it. I don't want him stressed out about it. So we're just going to put it on vacation mode and not worry about it. So I'm going to go down to Branson, which we do every year. It's not a very long, terrible drive. Going to meet at least one of the group members while we're down there, which would be fun. And I'll get to see Wagner and his lovely wife and hopefully do some sourcing. So if you're in the Springfield, Branson type area or between there and Iowa, and you know of any good old jewelry honey holes, let me know. Send me a message, drop it in the chat. I'd love to know. So I really appreciate it. Join us at Reseller Revenue Patreon group or like I said, send me a comment. Thank you very much.